Hi, I'm going to give you a little video introduction now to working with one document in Voyant tools. In another video, I'll show you how to work with multiple documents. I'll move fairly quickly in this video tutorial. It builds upon the other basic skills that you've already developed in Voyant. You can watch it a few times if you want. It'll give you some hints for what you can do with the program. First of all, we go to, of course, the documents. In the workshop, you can find them at the usual spot in primary sources. And then what I'm going to do is load up the Voyant tools main page for building a Cirrus or word cloud, voyant-tools.org. And I'm going to load up one of the documents. I'll choose Edwards from 1792. And I'll click the reveal button, wait a moment, apply the English stop words, make sure I apply them globally, and away I go. In the summary tool, I can see a rank list of the most common terms in the entire corpus. Okay, but I'm just get rid of that for the moment. Just use the Cirrus, and I'll try to find a couple of terms that look interesting to me, maybe even 3 or 4 terms. Make a note of them on a piece of paper. Find terms that might be contrasts or really closely connected with one another. I'm going to take terms that are probably not so important just because this is an example. Ye. I'll click on that one term, and then I'll add another term, you, in the word trends field. There's nothing there. Thou, maybe. No, there's nothing there. You get the idea maybe already. In word trends, you can click on one word from the Cirrus. You'll get a chart that pops up for word trends, and you can see how that word charts across the document. Imagine that the document from 1792 is divided into 10 equal parts, or, if you want to change the segments, 20 equal parts. That's the way this term charts across that document. You can also change the charting measure from relative frequency to raw frequency, so you see the actual number of counts. I'm going to try adding another word. Okay, again, a problem. Why don't I choose one from the list here? Exported. Aha, we've got a comparison of the two words in their spread across the document. This comparison is not particularly meaningful, but you get the idea, and you should look for meaningful combinations. From the word trends graph, we can, let's add one more just for fun. Aha, here we have something a little bit more common. I don't suspect there's a relationship between any of these terms, but that's not the purpose of this video. I'm going to click on one of the points on the graph for right, and you'll notice that a few things change. The corpus reader is updated to show you the term in context in the document, and you'll notice the colored bar along the side column of the corpus reader is highlighted in places. That's where the word shows up. And you'll also notice that keywords in context, the field for that tool, shows the word right in the context of the immediate portions of a sentence just before and just after. You can quickly scan through the use of that word or another word, ye, in its contexts across the document just by scanning up and down. One thing to notice is that if the word is very common, and there are usually if there's more than 50 words that are showing up in keywords in context, you'll have to pay attention to this field here, the page that you're looking at, because there would be maybe a second or third page even of the term. Good. That's the Cirrus, word trends, and keywords in context. Now we're going to switch tools to look at Jonathan Edwards' 1792 text in the links tool. So I'm going to switch from the Cirrus. I could also go from word trends or keywords in context. I just have to be aware which document I'm working with, and I'm going to choose the option a URL for a different tool and the current data, Jonathan Edwards 1792 text. I'll click OK. Then I have to choose a tool. And if I want to go to links, I have to choose the option here for collocate clusters. That's what the links tool is called on this list. And I'll click OK, and I'll copy the URL, open up a new browser window, and copy the URL in. Let's give it just a moment, see if the error is something we can get beyond. For some reason, we've got an error. Don't panic. I'm going to try a different approach. I'm going to type in the URL for the links tool in Voyant, and I'm going to upload Jonathan Edwards text. Sometimes complicated stuff happens. Don't let it bother you. Click Reveal. Okay, look at this. Here we have a set of words that are linked together. I'm going to apply the stop words globally. Click OK. Yeah, to understand this tool, you have to understand that a collocate or collocates are words that are related to one another with a frequency that is greater than chance. So where you see a word, the size of the word indicates its frequency, and then the lines indicate connections that are likely greater, connected in a way that's greater than chance. What you can do with this tool is a number of things. You can double click on terms that you might be interested in investigating a little bit more. Slaves and slavery. Oh, okay, look at this. A new connection popped up between slaves and slavery. It's the state. I wonder what that might mean. I'll click on the term a little bit more. Every time you click on a term, more links and usages of the word pop up. Slaves. When you hover over a word, you'll also see how many links there are, 15 in this case, and how many hits, how many uses of the word, 62. Click on it one more time. There's more possibilities for links to pop up, and here as well. Another thing you can do with this tool is right-click on a PC or control-click on a Mac on any of the terms if you want them to disappear from your list, because the more times you click, the more problems you might have with clutter, terms that you don't want in your analysis because they are noise for the connections that you want to highlight. So I'm going to try just eliminating Rob. When I right or control click on it, this menu option shows up. You can play around with these, but I'm going to remove Rob, and I'm going to remove hold, and I'm going to remove life. They might be important for your analysis, but I'm just showing you the process of removing terms. Now I'm going to switch to bubble lines from the links tool. I'll try this one more time and see if the URL for a different skin and current data will work this time. And I'll move to bubble lines. Copy the URL. Aha, and this worked. Now, what do we have here? We've got a line that represents the entire text of the 1792 pamphlet. and these terms are the most frequent terms, I believe, and all told, these terms show up 196 times in this document. Each term has a color, and the size of the bubble in the line indicates the location of the use of the term and its frequency. And when you hover over a bubble, you can see the number of times right man and slave or other terms, slaves and slavery, show up in the same portion of the text. To control the way that the portions of the text are divided up, you use the granularity dial here. So imagine that the text has 50 portions or line. The tool is analyzing the text divided into 50 equal parts. We can upgrade that to 200 equal parts. The tool looks a little bit different. Or down to 20. Or even 10. You see how that works. You can also choose this option here, separate lines for terms. And here we have Jonathan Edwards' text divided into 10 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then each line indicates the entire text and then one of the terms and its location. So you get a chance here, if you're using lots and lots of terms, to see how they line up at points of usage in the text. It's a little bit like the word trends tool, in other words. It allows you a different view of the spread of terms across a text. Perhaps you don't want to use these terms. These are the most frequent ones. So let's just clear the terms and add some of our own. We could add, see if red shows up. Okay, well, red doesn't, but these words are there. Reduce. Let's try another term. Reduced. And reduction. Okay, again, not a particularly meaningful search, but this gives you an idea of how you can add different terms using clear terms and adding terms into the field here. I'll change the granularity to 100 just for fun. Gives us a better sense of how the terms line up or don't. And then I'll also put all the bubbles together in one line. Okay, that's the bubble lines tool. I'll end the video here because the last of the tools, the terms radio, only works well with multiple texts. I'll show you how to use it in another video.